afternoon. Not that it matters to you, but hello, good afternoon. Welcome back to my little detailing Yoda channel, where we talk about anything and everything to do with detailing, and if you're a professional, helping you be, helping you. And if you're just wanting to get your car shiny at home, then hopefully we're helping you as well. So in this video, what I'm doing is, this is like part two. This is part two, it's not like, this is it. There's no other bits. This is part two to my ceramic coating series that I'm doing. Part one, which if you want to go and check it out, was all about, oh, I can put a little thing up there, kind of like ding, there's a little thing up there. The part one was just like an introduction, really. And in this part two, I'm going to, well, you know, we're going to call this facts, myths, false promises, rumours and questions. So, you know, this is all of those things about ceramic coatings. And then in future episodes, I'm going to go through application of them and sort of any other bits and pieces, really. So all of these things kind of work off each other. Without this background and these sort of myths and stuff that I'm going to go through now, I don't think it really works with the application side of stuff. So let me just check you're still recording and then we will carry on. All good. We're still recording. So I've got a list of stuff I've written down here. And then, yeah, I'm just going to go through it. And off we go. So the first thing I'll open up with is this. This subject can be quite contentious, can't it? And all of you guys out there are using different coatings or no coatings or some coatings, or you'll have your preferred coating. I'm really not trying to go against any of that or tell you my coatings are better or my, you know, all I want to do is try and inform with this. So, you know, we had quite a few comments last time about, oh, you didn't mention that coating or this coating or the other coating, or you know, I didn't mean to offend anyone by that, and I certainly haven't got every coating in the world here. This is literally a quick trawl around the workshop. We do, like I said, I've done 2 or 3 coatings a week for the last 6 years. So we've been through a lot of bottles. I just throw them away. This is literally stuff I found lying around in the workshop. So, you know, we're certified, have been certified by quite a few people. So I tend to stick with those coatings. That's not to say that you might not be happy with other coatings. So, you know, someone mentioned Ceramic Pro on the last one. The G-Technic I used to use a lot of, don't use so much now. Hopefully the reasons for that might become a bit more apparent in what we're going to go through today. But, you know, I'm not here to slag off any coatings for sure, but just hopefully give you enough information that you can go and do some research or ask some questions yourselves. Because, yeah, I have to say I've never had any contact with the likes of Ceramic Pro. You know, there are lots of, you know, stories about it, but don't know anything about them. So would love to be educated. If you're watching this Ceramic Pro, please send us some stuff. Carbon Collective or another one, you know. Have chatted to them before, but yeah, would love to try them. Would love to have all the time in the world to just test coatings. All my cars have got, you know, my wife's car, I've got a couple of cars. There, I think multiple panels on all of those cars for the last 3, 4, 5 years have had different coatings on. So I try and test everything that I come into contact with, but couldn't hope to test everything out there. So, you know, love to hear your experiences. So if you've got a preferred coating or you know, something that you found really works, I don't really want to go too much off my friend said or this promises, but if you've had a coating that you applied 3 years ago and it's still beating up like day one and it's still amazing and scratch free, then I'd love to hear about it. So yeah, because there's a lot to this stuff. There is a lot to it. So sorry, I've got the paranoia today of you not recording. So I'm going to keep checking. So yeah, bit contentious, but just stick with me. You know, I don't know everything about everything. If you can help me, I want you to see this as a discussion. So, you know, if there's some information that I've left out, I don't know everything. So if you can help me understand more and then we can relay that to everyone else who's watching the channel, then we all learn, don't we? And I think that's part of the reason I'm doing this stuff, is to learn more. It's only really, I've learned this from teaching machine polishing. You know, you learn more when you teach as well, and you learn different approaches, and, you know, everyone's got, you know, you're not doing it wrong if you've got happy customers and you've got cars that are protected of you. So that's what I think. So let's go through some facts, some ceramic coating facts. So there are two ways of getting a ceramic coating principally, aren't there? There is obviously, there's probably three actually that I can think of. So obviously in this bottle, there's two main ingredients. So much like with the wax, you have the carnauba content, and then you have the solvent that dissolves the carnauba, and then you have a few other things that make it easy to spread, that evaporate and that go, just leaving the protective stuff behind. This liquid in this bottle, that's not a very good bottle to demonstrate, is it? That liquid in that bottle of booster, there's a few things in there, aren't there? There's the active ingredients, so the SiO2 or the quartz or the ceramic or the graphene, like someone said. So the active ingredient, basically the stuff that does the protecting and all that. And then there's a load of other stuff in there, basically, isn't there, to make it so that the air doesn't react with it until you want it to, so that it stays a liquid until you want it to, so you can spread it easily on the surface of a car. All of those sorts of things, basically to help that raw ingredient do what it really needs to do. So if you wanted to start up your own ceramic coating company, there's a few things you could do. You could buy a factory that made all the raw materials, you could put all the raw materials in a bottle and you could sell it. It's quite an expensive way to start. You could do what a lot of other people do, which is go to a ceramic coating manufacturer and say, I want a ceramic coating, make me one, please. Or let me buy one of your off-the-shelf ones and put my label on it, and we'll call it the Yoda coating. So you can do that. Or you can do what even other people do, is buy the raw ingredients, put them together in your workshop or your shed or your lab or wherever, and you can put them together and then you can sell your coating. So there are a few different ways, and I don't want to get too drawn into that makes me a manufacturer and that makes me not and that makes me the factory. As I understand it, and again, I would love to be educated more, as I understand it, there actually are not many factories or places in the world with the chemistry set to make the very clever raw ingredients. So let's say the SiO2, as I understand it, and if you're a coating manufacturer, please educate me some more, but as I understand it, the chemistry set you need to make that stuff is quite clever and is probably more than £1 million worth of equipment. Until recently, I think the major centres for that have been sort of Japan, certainly. They have a massive coatings industry and always have done. Korea, I think China certainly have the capability now. Germany for a long time have had that chemistry set. And I'm told very recently the UK now does have at least one place, Angel Wax I think, with the ability to make their own raw ingredients. But that doesn't matter, you know, I've gone a long way in my own journey with detailing stuff. I used to think that if you weren't the factory, then, you know, get in the sea. But now I'm a bit more, you know, open about that. If you can specify the best things, you know, we could maybe have another completely other topic about white labelling and all that stuff. I don't want to get into it too much. Let's stop it there. Let's say those are the sort of three ways you can make that stuff in the bottle. That's a fact. The thickness of the coatings, like I talked about originally, they are very thin. You know, they do leave a thickness behind, but it is of the order of 1 micron. So a 30th, give or take, of your clear coat thickness, and your clear coat is less than the thickness of a hair on your head. So they're of the order of a 30th or a 50th of the thickness of a hair on your head. So I would say that limits what they can do. They have a hardness. The hardness test, do some research on it, is 9 or 10 or 7H, but that's pencil hardness. Yes, some places do use the Mohs scale. Confusingly, there's more than one scale for hardness. I don't really want to get into that too much now, but, you know, the Mohs scale is a proper hardness scale where down the bottom you have soft things and at the top you have diamonds. There is also the pencil hardness scale, which maybe you could say some more unscrupulous people are using to say, well, why is this 10H? Like a 10H pencil. So how hard is a pencil? Not that hard, really. It's about 20% of a diamond, if you want to know, really. So 20% of that, the hardest pencil in the world is about 20% of the hardness of a diamond. So on the greater scale of things, not massively hard. Again, I'm just going to check. Yes, we're still going. We're at 10 minutes. Boom, brilliant. So They are, without doubt, better than a wax. They're more protective in terms of abrasion resistance, chemical resistance, longevity. They last years, really, rather than months, which we would talk about in terms of wax. Weeks, some wax. And there are also some, sorry, I've got notes because otherwise I'll just go off piste with all of this. So the other things we know is they need proper maintenance. Personally, I feel the maintenance of ceramic coatings isn't understood as well as it could be. So we'll have a discussion. That's the other video I'm going to do. Hopefully this is going to be a 4-parter. And the last one will be maintenance. So yeah, I think that's quite misunderstood, the maintenance side of stuff. And of course, there are some coatings that are self-healing, as someone else mentioned on the last one. A little aside, a little thing for you to test, a lot of coatings heal a bit anyway. So these high hydrocarbon coatings, this Kamikaze Collection ISM, for example, a lot of the higher end coatings anyway do self-heal a little bit with heat. Paint self-heals with heat a little bit. Have an experiment, guys. If you're bored and you're a geek like me, get a heat gun and have a little play about with some paint. You can, some people call it reflowing, don't they? But you can get defects to come out of paint by warming it up to sort of 60, 70 degrees, I think. Have a little play with it. Have a little play with some coatings as well. You'll be surprised, even if it's not a self-healing coating, they will self-heal a little bit, some of them. So, some myths then. I've got some myths written down here. And I'm going to put these together with myths and false promises, because I think this is where the industry has fallen down a bit, and I think a lot of these come from the sort of the car manufacturers or the people who are trying to, the marketers, aren't they, who are just trying to sell stuff. So the number one I get quite often from customers, actually, these ceramic coatings are going to stop stone chips, aren't they? I'm afraid not. Let's come back to the thickness thing. You know, they are 1/50th of a hair on the head. They're very, very thin. If your paint can't survive stone chips, it's unlikely a coating that thin will survive stone chips. We do have a load of PPF lying around. So this is PPF. This is 100 microns. So this is twice the thickness of a hair on your head, 2 or 3 times actually. You know, this is 200 microns thick. So this is like 4 or 5 hairs on your head. This stuff will protect stone chips, but it needs to be that thick to do it. Another good myth that I love is beading equals protection. I love a beaded car as much as the next person, but it really doesn't. You could spray WD-40 on a car and it'll bead, or you could leave a freshly coated car with the best coating in the world under a tree that is dropping sap, and it will not bead at all because it'll have a layer of sap over the top. So, and of course, waxes bead like hell, don't they? So it's a nice indicator. The unfortunate thing about all of this is there is no test to determine how thick a coating is, whether it's present, how much it's been reduced. There is no proper chemical test. I'd love it if there was. I've heard manufacturers talking before about doing like a dye pen test or a few things like that, but not seen anything yet. It's not really in their here's one to think about. It's not really in their interest to do that, is it? Because then all their claims would be... Anyway, so the other one is lovely, isn't it? Never wash or polish your car again. How many times have you done a new car prep for a customer that's had a dealer applied sealant? They said I never had to wash it again. Yeah, I'm afraid you do. And actually the maintenance, well, in a way the maintenance is better, isn't it? Because these are much more chemical resistant. So that means you can use more aggressive things to clean with. So slightly acid, there's things that acids remove, there's things that alkalis remove, and we're talking about breaking that like ionic bond that dirt has to paintwork. We can now use things that are slightly more aggressive to do that, which is brilliant. So that's the myths and false promises. If there's any more, if there's any things that I haven't said that are a myth or something you've heard, drop it in the comments, because I'm going to run these, I'm trying to do one of these a week, and we'll just keep spitting them out. So the more we can put out, and the more stuff, I want this to be a discussion. I'm learning as much as you are. So I have experience, but I don't know everything about everything. So yeah, please drop down any more comments you've got. So the last one I'm going to talk about is questions. So there were some good questions that came up last time. I've noted a few down, and we'll just run through those quickly. I'm going to keep checking your recording. Sorry, I had, as you might have guessed, I had a bad experience with this on a recent video where I had to re-record the whole thing again. So I'm just keep checking your recording. So ceramic versus graphene versus all of the other stuff. I'm not a chemist, honestly. I strongly believe the best coating for you is the one you understand the most. The Gyeon said to me, you know, I speak a lot to Gyeon. They've been very good to me. They've let me in on a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, and their trainer Eve is a friend of mine and an incredibly knowledgeable and skillful detailer. So a lot of my knowledge comes from them. You know, they talk a lot about how a coating being dry and a coating being cured are two different things. A coating is dry in, you know, a minute or two, isn't it? But a coating is not cured often for up to a week. So they're very different things. So the coating that is best for you is the one that you understand the best, and you understand when it's cured, and you understand what it can't do while it's still curing. Manufacturers can promise the world, but if only some black belt guy in a hermetically sealed environment like a laboratory at an exact temperature and exact humidity, if it can only be applied in those conditions, it's not that suitable for everyone, is it? So it's best for that guy, but it might not be best for you. Panel wiping is a good one, and again, this comes into that same discussion. What is best for you? What coatings need what? They all need different. A lot of the coating manufacturers sell their own coating thing. The first thing I'd say on this is IPA is no good. Have a look at IPA. As a substance, what it does is it pushes an oil around on a surface. It doesn't break it down and remove it. Because of course when we're doing a wipe down, we're not just removing oils or silicons, we're removing everything. We need that. Well, that was a good one, guys. I kept checking and we did actually stop filming because we ran out of space. But I'm back, I've sorted it, so we're all good. So on panel wipe and IPA. IPA on its own is not good because there's a word for it that I'm not clever enough to remember. But it basically doesn't break down certain things on a surface of a paintwork. It just pushes them around, really. So what you can do is augment that. You can put other things in there to help the IPA work, or you can use something else. So, still got the paranoia. Yeah, you still got it. Cool. So, the best advice I've had was from Gyeon, and you know, reading between the lines, this is what a lot of detailers are doing now. They're using more than one. So they're using like a panel wipe type product. Typically, the one that I recommend and that I've used a lot, pardon me, is Speed Hacker 7010. Always get the slow release, the slow evaporation one, if you're going to use a Body Shop one. I am using this Silicon Off from Soft 99 at the moment. Mega stuff, really enjoying using that. But in conjunction with that, I will always use a manufacturer's one. To be honest, most of the time I'll use Gyeon Prep. It is an IPA based, as most of the manufacturer's ones are. Here's a tip, you can always go to the MSDS of a product. Get used to going to the MSDS, Google the MSDS for anything you're using and have a read of it. See what it says, because it'll tell you some surprising stuff. So it'll tell you the percentage of IPA and some other stuff. But this I like because it's got some citrus things and some other bits in, some degreasers that break down polishing oils and other contaminants, because that's what we're trying to do, remove every single contaminant from that surface to allow our coating to bond to pure paint. And if there's a bit of oil or something in the pore of the paint or anything like that, it needs to be gone. We need to let that coating get right down into the pores of the paint, the microscopic pores. So use more than one. I'm not going to dwell on it too much. We're going to come down onto this on the maintenance video, application video. So hopefully 3 and 4 are going to be an application video and then a maintenance video. So the best starter coating I've got asked, and again, I can only answer this from my experience. Generally, actually, I'm going to bring this into another question. So the other question that I've had is, what is the best pro versus consumer grade? What is the difference? That's an interesting one, isn't it, guys? So basically on the surface of it, a pro grade coating is one that your customers or Joe Blogs or me can't buy. So I can't go phone up Ceramic Pro and buy their top grade coating because I'm not an approved installer for them. I can't buy the Max Protect one or lots of those ones that I'm not approved to use. The reasons for that are many. Some of those coatings are very difficult to apply, and if you sold them to Joe Blogs, he would make a real mess of his car. Sometimes that manufacturer wants to support their network, so if a customer wants a certain coating on their car, you have to go to someone in the network to get it. If generally a pro-grade coating means you have been approved to apply it, which hopefully would mean you'd have some sort of test passing or approval or something in order to apply it, which means you should be applying that coating the best it can be applied. If I made a coating, I would want an approved pro-grade coating because then I can be sure those people know how to get the best out of my coating. But essentially that's what it means. A consumer grade coating is one anyone can buy and with a bit of knowledge should be one they can approve. Interestingly, Gyeon, I don't know how you pronounce it properly, have 3 grades of coating actually. They have a consumer grade coating, they have what they call professional grade coatings that anyone can buy. So they're aimed at professionals, but anyone can buy them. And then they also have approved coatings where people like me have been approved to apply them, and they are the very, very top. Just check if you're still recording. Yes, you are. So they actually do, professional grade, but for anyone. And I think they sort of have a thing with them, you're on your own. If you don't know how to apply the coating and you buy one of them, you're on your own. But all the Gyeon stuff is lovely to apply. There are lots of things you can do to get the absolute most out of them, but, very easy. So best starter coating, in my experience, a good starter coating actually. We've got things like CanCoat, that's CanCoat Pro, but Gyeon do CanCoat. Car Pro now do Sequels Light, don't they? We've got these sort of 1-year coatings, which actually are super easy to apply, I think. All of the lower grade Gyeon stuff is easy to apply. G-Technic, what's it called? Crystal Serum Light is very easy to apply. The Kamikaze stuff is a bit trickier to apply, but to be honest, this ISM Pro, ISM 2, sorry, anyone can buy that. That's a mega coating, but I wouldn't recommend it as a first coating. So yeah, those are the ones that I think are probably quite good, but up to you. Yeah, just ask around, see what people are using. Longevity and claims is a question. Probably comes into myths a bit as well, doesn't it? This is a difficult one. So the longevity, if any coating says it's a 2-year coating or a 5-year coating or an 8-year coating or a 10-year coating, basically that doesn't, this is interesting, so this is a good basic fact, guys. So in Japan, so I know this from talking to the Soft 99 guys, if you put a rating of a time on a paint protection product, so Fuso Coat, for example, says 12 months on the tin, that has to have been in a standardised accelerated weathering machine. So it's basically like a machine where you put a painted panel in with whatever stuff you're testing on it, and they fling a load of water and UV lighted it. It's not a perfect, I think they have wash cycles in it as well. So it's not a perfect test, but at least it is a measure. So on that machine, it has to last at least the amount of time that you say it's going to last. So Fuso Coat does 12 months on that machine. Any coating in Japan, if it says X years on it, has to last X years in that machine. In the UK, we don't have that test. Now, some companies do put their coatings through an accelerated weathering machine. They have them in Germany and there are a few places. I think G-Technic might have just bought one, or was that a contact angle machine? Don't know. But yeah, some people don't. So I can put whatever I like on my coating. Mine's a 25-year coating, but put a set of brackets in it, and in some set of terms and conditions, somewhere say, yeah, but that's if you never take it outside and only wash it once every 10 months and never drive it, never wash it. Who knows? The thing is, there's no test for these things, are there? So who knows? The longevity stuff is crazy, and it fries my brain. What I would say to you professional guys is don't overstate it. Be practical about it and be honest with your customers on your own findings, and you won't go far wrong. If you just trot out whatever the company you deal with says, you'll probably end up getting into trouble, because you'll get that one customer, when you said it was a 25-year coating, comes back 25 years later and says it's not there anymore, which you can't test anyway. But you know, it's bigger than that, because he is unhappy, so there's been a mismatch in his expectation somewhere. That's another big subject. So the claims, all of that stuff, yeah, I think once you go over 5 years, it's difficult to test, isn't it? I think if a customer wants to know this stuff, discuss with them how they're given a year rating. Say to them that, you know, Kamikaze collection, famously, let me just check your recordings still, because I'm still nervous about it. Kai at Kamikaze collection, I love, because he calls his coatings no hype coatings. He doesn't put a longevity on there. And he says it's impossible to, because you don't know if that customer's going to use the car every day and take it to an automatic car wash, or whether it's going to be a collector car that sits in a garage that only ever gets washed by a geeky detailer. How do you know? There's too many variables to put something on it. A guarantee or a warranty, in my opinion, just relates to how long a manufacturer is going to stand by their coating. And by the way, you try claiming on one of those for a lot of companies. Some are good, some are not so good. As a professional, if you're an approved installer. It's really, you know, Gyeon have an infinite warranty now, but it has to be maintained by a detailer. They have a 5-year warranty if it just goes away. But again, the warranties are limited. Read this stuff, guys. The warranties only protect against certain things. So I think that I'm going to cap this video off there. I was hoping this was going to be shorter than the last one. It's been even longer. So amazing, super duper props to you if you're still here. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you can go and check the next one out, which has now been uploaded. And if you haven't, maybe go and check the last one out, or check one of the other videos on the channel out. Do please put some more questions. This is an open subject, and I want us to have like a two-way discussion about it. So please just fire through any questions, queries, thoughts you have, thoughts on stuff I've missed out, or subjects you'd like me to expand on more. I'm still trying to learn as much as you are, guys. So look after yourself, take it steady, keep making cars shiny and beautiful, and we'll see you all again soon. Ta-da!